Hello, my name is Amy Sturkey. I am a pediatric physical therapist. I am here with Alex Robinson. Alex is someone I knew when I was a young therapist, and he was treated at our clinic by actually a different therapist in cerebral palsy. And we've had a great discussion, and I just wanted to continue asking you more questions.
I get, when I was younger, a lot of times I would kind of get that confused look when I would say it to people. And I could just see the question forming in their mind of, where's your wheelchair? So I think that was...
How can you call yourself having cerebral palsy? You're not in a wheelchair.
Right. I think that there's been a lot of progress made in terms of people understanding invisible disabilities too, which is wonderful. And now when I say cerebral palsy, there's still kind of that, oh, okay. And then it's followed up with questions, but you can kind of see that people are at least familiar with the words, right. Which is wonderful. I think that the more upfront we are, the more honest we are, the more we can have conversations about it. I remember when I was a kid, if you were in a wheelchair, you had shorts on and people could see your orthotics, a lot of kids would stare. And I think sometimes adults they would try to keep kids from, it was rude. They didn't want children to ask questions. And I think that when we keep children from asking questions about things that they're not familiar with, when we don't let them ask those questions, honestly, we're going to raise adults that don't know how to have those conversations and don't know how to engage with people that have disabilities either.
Right.
So
beautiful point.
I think that I never would have been offended with kids that, and why do you have those on? Because when I was a teenager, yes, absolutely no. I'll rephrase. From the ages of maybe 14 to 18, don't try to have that conversation with me, at least. But the older I've gotten, I want people to know. I want people to learn. I want people to not be afraid and uncomfortable. Because I think the more people know, the less chance they are to be hurtful, whether intentional or otherwise. Right. When I was in elementary school, and I think it was around the time I had the heel cord release, my parents worked with our physical education teacher, and I was using a wheelchair at that point. They got wheelchairs brought into the gym so that the other kids we would have wheelchair races.
Wow.
So it was an incredible way for me to be included, but it was also an incredible way for kids that maybe had never been in a wheelchair, they'd never broken a leg, to get that experience too. And it was fun, of course. Kids wanted to roll around, but to look back on that time of my life, I didn't feel different because my parents worked so hard to actively integrate me and to integrate other kids into my life too, into the experience that I had. So the more that we can allow non-disabled kids to have that experience and to be able to empathize, I think the better off we are socially.
Because you were the only child at your school that had cerebral palsy.
At that point.
It's like elementary, so it's a smaller school. So the first other people you met with cerebral palsy were actually like at the clinic where you met other people with cerebral palsy. Huh. I think now schools are a lot more inclusive. And, you said that at that age you were in a wheelchair. So you were as mild in your presentation as you are now. But I think now kids are more mainstream. So I think there's more exposure. So people are more likely to have met someone with cerebral palsy than maybe when you were young, maybe. Just thank you, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. If you liked this video and would like to be notified by email when the next video comes out, click the subscribe button here and click the golden bell icon and ensure notifications are enabled on your account.